so close. I was so close.
What's up, everybody? This is the Brush Stranger here, and today, Bayhem has returned. That's right, everybody. The Bayverse. Everyone give a warm welcome back to the Bayverse. It's back. Yay! I'm so excited. I love that I can't go 24 hours in this franchise being happy or excited about something. Just a while ago, I made that video on Cyberworld. Oh, we're getting a new Transformers show. Then Transformers 1 gets canceled. Ah, well, that's incredibly disappointing. Then, just a day or two ago, Robert Kirkman says that we're getting a Skybound animated series. Very excited for that. And then not even 24 hours later, oh, we're bringing back MichaelBay. And no, he's not taking over for the G.I. Joe movie. He's making a completely separate movie. And that's not including the Blue Beetle live-action Transformers movie that was supposedly being made. We don't know if that's still happening or what the hell happened with that. We haven't gotten any leaks or rumors about the G.I. Joe movie or the Blue Beetle director Transformers movie, and now they're piling on a third Transformers movie? Paramount. What? Sorry guys, this is gonna be a bit of a rant, but what? So one of your movies is in development hell to the point all we know is the director. Your next movie is a crossover movie, which is the sequel to the end credit scene of Rise of the Beast, which the majority of both average moviegoers, critics, and people in the Transformers and G.I. Joe community and fandom had a strong negative reaction to. Either that or just pure confusion. You double down and say you're listening to the fans? No one's asking for this crossover, man. I mean, I think Hasbro is, but like, other than them, no one's asking for this. Most G.I. Joe fans that came to my comment section were like, yeah, it's kind of degrading having to be stapled and piggybacking off of a bigger franchise in order to make ours seem more relevant. Like, why not just make a solo movie? And if, you know, a crossover comes up later down the line, sure, but all they've put out recently in 2019 was like Snake Eyes. They haven't done the heavy lifting to warrant crossover. Iron Man had 2 movies, Captain America had a movie, Evan Thor, he had a movie, Black Widow and Hawkeye were set up through separate movies, as well as the Hulk having his own movie, and then they all came together in Avengers. At least they had movies that came out like pretty recent within each other and showed up in each other's movies. They had the big Avengers movie. With this, it's just Bumblebee in 2018, Snake Eyes the same year. Snake Eyes doesn't do well. Then 2023, no G.I. Joe movie, but a Transformers movie that sets up a G.I. Joe crossover. Why? And now you're bringing MichaelBay back, which it just hit me that the only reason they're bringing MichaelBay back is to quote unquote continue his masterpiece of a vision for The Last Night. That's right, we're getting a Last Night sequel, the thing that almost tanked the Transformers effing movie franchise in the past. Oh, but his vision, but no, no, I'm not gonna be there for that. I'm pirating it. I don't care. I don't care. I'm willing to go watch a lot of Transformers. I don't care how bad it is. I will like rewatch Beast Machines, I will watch Energon, I will play stuff like Galactic Trials, I will play stuff like the Bumblebee Earthspark game, I will play your Slob mobile games, but I'm not willing to sit there in a movie theater and drag my friends to yet another disappointing, non-continuity caring, immature, statutory joke-filled MichaelBay movie. The man said he had like 13 scripts for movies, including a Skibbity Toilet movie. And now he's directing yet another Transformers movie, which I don't know if this is fair or not. Maybe, like, don't take everything I say too seriously here, but like, I kind of blame Bayverse fans, man. They've become the Snyder Dude bros, dude. I'm not even kidding. They've been campaigning for either AI-generated images of Shia LaBeouf standing next to Megan Fox and Mark Wahlberg in like the worst Optimus Prime you've ever seen. And people were like, oh, Bay's coming back, Bay's coming back. And I planted my feet. I firmly said, no, he's not coming back. This is AI. And then now he's coming back. Like, MichaelBay Bay, are you doing well financially, buddy? The last time you took a Transformers gig, it was for the money and because you felt you had some kind of small connection to this franchise. Why? It's like Taika Waititi coming back for 4 or 5, even though he doesn't really care much about those movies. He's just doing it for the paycheck. Why? Like the fact that we have 3 ongoing Transformers movies in production. 3! So while I was editing, the story just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Apparently there's 5 Transformers movies being put into either pre-production, discussed about whether they're making it or not. One of them is another live action movie. Other than the G.I. Joe movie, other than Michael Bay's movie, other than the Blue Beetle movie, other than the other movie, is a Josh Cooley live action movie. Whether this is a sequel to Transformers 1 or not, I don't know. But man, I'm just so sick. I'm so sick after 7 long movies of live action Transformers. I am so tired of live action Transformers, and I know a lot of other people share that sentiment. After having one of the best movies, movie of the year, Transformers 1, they just stick them on another live action movie. I wouldn't mind it if Michael Bay was directing, say, the live action movies, right? That comes out, and then at the same time, Josh Cooley is making Transformers 2 in his corner. So we have the Bayverse fans who love live action going over to maybe next year, like the sequel to Transformers 1 and the trilogy. We have that side, the animation side, who care more about the deep lore, just the characters being on Cybertron who don't want humans. Like, at least then we'd leave the other side alone. But no, now it just feels like they sacrificed Transformers 1 just to bring back Michael Bay, just to make the crossover happen. And they're just tripling down. And it just sucks, but they have to put a movie into pre-production if they want to keep the license by 2029. So we're stuck, hard stuck with Paramount forever. They are locked in, unfortunately. Oh, we just can't catch a break. This is painful. This is actual pain. All we know about this Transformers G.I. Joe crossover is that they got the writer for The Rise of Skywalker. What some consider the worst Star Wars, I think The Last Jedi is worse. It is second place for Star Wars movies. I feel like Lorenzo, because he's always been banking on, like, the Bayverse fans coming back. That's why he says Transformers 1 is a prequel to Bayverse. Bumblebee was a prequel to Bayverse. Rise of the Beast is a prequel to Bayverse. Despite making no sense from a timeline perspective, he's always been pushing the agenda that all these movies are connected. We're like Marvel. We have a big cinematic universe. After the last night, they had like 3 or 4 movies planned that were supposed to be the big cinematic return to Transformers, and that they'd be like the MCU or the DCEU. We already have a fan-made team making Rise of Unicron, and that will probably come out sooner than Michael Bay's movie. What are we doing? I just feel like we're evolving backwards. Like, after Bumblebee, I had so much hope for the franchise. It's not that hard. Have Bumblebee, then do an Optimus Prime solo movie, Megatron solo movie, have just like a classic kind of Avengers team-up movie where they're just fighting Decepticons, then tease Megatron at the end. There's so much potential. There's always been so much potential for Transformers, and it has always been squandered with Michael Bay. And now, I'm not gonna say it was a fan campaign, not like Snyderverse was, but it really feels like after, you know, Bumblebee on a smaller budget just barely made money back, Rise of the Beast, I think, made its money back. Kinda didn't, kinda not, we don't really know. But then Transformers 1 bombed because Paramount's marketing failed. They marketed it like a dumb kiddie movie, like Kitty Adventure, like, well, let's go save Cybertron, when it wasn't. It was like such a phenomenal movie. And all the fans were asking for, no G.I. Joe, no Bayverse slop, none of this live action crap. We wanted a sequel to Transformers 1. They cancel it, announce a I Eat Poop movie. I hope it bombs. I don't care. I hope it bombs. It stole Transformers 1 from us. That might be cope, but I don't care. And we're getting Bay back. He's always kind of been there. He's been producer for the last, like, couple movies. He never really left Transformers, but, like, this isn't working. I said in my Transformers, like, is the Transformers dead franchise? And I feel like I said something to the effect of just take Transformers away from Paramount. Just cancel the license on them. Some people might say, oh, well, I'd rather this than nothing. I'd rather nothing at this point. I'd rather no live action movie. I'd rather Transformers movies. Either they do short animated like DVD streaming movies, kind of like how DC does with like Crisis on Infinite Earths and, you know, the Suicide Squad, like Road to Hell movie. I'd rather stuff like that or nothing at all, because Bayverse left such a bad taste in everyone's mouth who went to go see it. And now we're just kind of getting that, but again, it's almost like they haven't learned their lesson. We went 2 live action movies without Michael Bay and we're dragging him back. How do you think that looks? We were so close with Bumblebee and Transformers 1. So close. We almost had it. I don't know what to say other than that. I'm just kind of repeating myself. Sorry, this is more of a rant video, but that's just how I feel. Like, I don't want to say the Bayverse fans let this happen. I know it's not all Bayverse fans, but like there's like this small, like, I don't even know if I could call them fans, that just are hyper focused in on like 07 to Dark of the Moon, Last Night, Age of Extinction. Feel like they were robbed of a sequel to one of the worst movies in recent history, and I mean that. I'd rather watch the Slender Man movie again than go watch that, genuinely. I think Paramount's got too much on their plate. I think they're really milking Transformers. I really hope Hasbro sees that they're not making any returns and that they butchered Transformers 1. They're gonna butcher this. The G.I. Joe crossover movie will not happen because they don't have a director. It has been, what, 2 years since Rise of the Beast, and we haven't heard anything about it. Rise of the Beast had leaks. Rise of the Beast had set photos. It had marketing. It had a lot of stuff, and we haven't heard anything other than the worst Star Wars writer is making it. Transformers: The Bayverse Strikes Back. I want everyone to take this with a grain of salt because, once again, this is still technically a rumor. It might not have happened. They might be interested in discussing asking MichaelBay to come back, and not every single one of those 5 movies is going to be greenlit. Some of them aren't going to come out, but I think it's just too much, especially considering Paramount nearly went bankrupt last year. Hence why I made that Sony buys Paramount video. Still really proud of that one. Go check it out. And I'm not necessarily here to hate on Bayverse. Once again, I remember being 5 years old, watching the 07 movie, and falling in love with Transformers. But after that first movie, after Revenge of the Fallen, Age of Extinction, The Last Night, MichaelBay did put it into the mainstream, but Transformers stopped being cool. It was now funny to laugh at the movie instead of with the movie. People reviewing the movie, saying it was trash and Transformers is a garbage franchise just because of these movies. When I tell people I'm a Transformers fan, the first thing that their mind conjures up is Bumblebee peeing on Agent Simmons. It's not Transformers 1, it's not the Cybertron games, it's not animated, it's not Prime, it's not the Skybound comics, it's that. A disgusting stain on the franchise that it still hasn't recovered from. We're trying to get away from it. I don't want MichaelBay to be the reason this franchise is remembered, because it isn't remembered fondly. This just feels like a huge gamble from Paramount. We haven't gotten any word from the big man MichaelBay if he is working on it, which isn't surprising considering how secretive he usually is with his film projects. I just love Transformers so much, man. Transformers is so much more than that. It's more than just the movies, as TV shows, video games, comics, toys, theme parks. So I know it's going to be a war in the comments section down below, but please everyone try to be respectful and at least try to see where the other person's coming from. I see where Bayverse fans are coming from. I grew up with the 2007 movie, and I remember loving the hell out of MichaelBay's first Transformers movie, going to Walmart and Toys R Us and seeing the massive toy aisles filled to the brim of Revenge of the Fallen toys, buying my Jolt action figure, eagerly anticipating the next film. But I also know that those days are behind us and we need to push forward. We need a new direction. We need different creative visions if we want to get out of this slump that Transformers is in. And a lot of the Bayverse fans like to point to the fact that Rise of the Beast and Bumblebee and Transformers 1 didn't do well. The reason they didn't do well is because people are sick of Transformers. We've had 5 lackluster live action movies in a row, and then when you give them another one and they don't happily eat it, you go, oh, see, that's why we need MichaelBay back. That makes literally 0 sense, and I think you know it. And try to see from our perspective is that we just lost the sequel to Transformers 1. Anyways, guys, I love you guys. I'll see you on 1, 2, 3 movies when the Michael Bay Transformers movie releases. I do not condone pirating. Bye, guys.